Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing the inside part of the covers. So I have all of my covers sitting here, all of the cardstock pieces that I want to put in to kind of line the inside. Like I get to this step where I make all the signatures and I'm like, great, I'm ready to go. And then I want to start binding it. And then I get everything ready to start binding and I'm like, oh, the inside of my cover still just looks like the inside of a cereal box because that's what it is because I didn't put anything there. So then I think that's a big reason why it took me so long to finish up binding my space journals, because I forgot this and then like I got so ready to start binding, and then I saw this was here and I got kind of demoralized, and then it took me a while to like get everything together so that I can do the inside covers. So it's pretty simple. You basically just get some pieces and cut them to the right size, and then you put them in. You have the inside front cover, the inside back cover, and the inside of the spine. So the inside of the spine, I usually like to put some piece of ribbon or fabric. So I cut a piece of fabric that's actually a little bit wider than my spine. So you can see here it covers up the fold there. Because fabric is not, like it has a lot of give, it's not as important for you to make sure that it fits perfectly. But with the cardstock, I always do. I kind of line it up. So I don't want to split this exactly at 6 inches, even though the size of my book is 6 inches across. If I did it at 6 inches, then it would just keep like creeping up. So let me just show that. So this piece is 12 inches across, so it's from a 12 by 12 cardstock. And then the height that I did it was a little bit less than 8. I think I did 7.75. So if I just cut it here, if I even use my paper cutter to cut it here, which if I cut this exactly at 6, alright, so that's cut exactly at 6, so 6 and 6. So if I put this in here, and then I pushed this up to as if I were going to close the book, then you can see a lot of that page comes out. So what I like to do is I line this part up to where I think it would look good on the inside cover, like that. So I like a little bit of the fabric to be peeking out on the inside of the cover. So I place it there, I hold it down with my whole hand, all 5 fingers, and then I take this hand and I fold it up like that, and then that will give me the right place to do it, to cut it. So then I fold it down, and if I had a bone folder with me I would use that, but I don't, so I just use my scissors and fold down on that fold. And then I can take my scissors and just cut on that line. And I do this for every journal, because every journal is slightly different, like where you attach the fabric is slightly different. Even though they're all 6 inches, they're all going to be slightly different. So I put that there like that, and then I can do the same thing on this side. I like to get a very, very busy pattern for the inside covers, because it's kind of nice to have that when you open up the book. It's kind of got a nice impact. And the inside of the spine, you don't see it much, but you do see it in the, like in between, when you're in between 2 different signatures, you can see a little bit there. So you don't want like the cardboard to be showing. So I usually just cover that with some fabric, but you could certainly also do a piece that fits in between these two lines, a piece of cardstock. So I've definitely done that with a lot of covers, especially ones that need a little bit more structure. So those are my 3 basic pieces. I'm going to switch over to this one here. This one I already have the inner part glued, but I want to show some different ways you can embellish the inside of your covers. So one way is to put some stitching on, and it's not any real stitching. Because I'm not very good at sewing, I wouldn't recommend sewing this directly onto this, and then that can also kind of ruin or make the front of the cover look a little bit different and like not exactly the way you want it. So one thing you can do is just add some fake stitching around the outside. So it's real stitching, it's just not stitching anything to anything. It's more decorative. My sewing machine was having some stage fright and it wasn't cooperating, so I had to take it off camera to finish up the stitches, but I think this one should go okay. So I didn't do any back stitching or anything because I'm just going to glue this down. But before I get to that, I'm going to switch back to the other one, to the other book cover. And show another possibility, or another couple of possibilities. So I have the 3 parts here, and then another thing that you can do at this step is put a pocket. So what I'm using to do the fabric to the paper is this Elmer's Craft Bond. You can see that it's well loved, well used. I have fabric and paper glue. So that's how I remember to use this one when I'm doing the covers. So then I'm going to do the bottom first because that's the most important part. So if you glue that down first, then when you glue these down, it will help secure it on even more. And I'm just going across the sides here. You don't have to worry about gluing this entire piece down, because when you glue it down to the book cover, it will be glued down. Okay, but before I put the front and back covers on, I'll glue down the spine. Same glue that fabric and paper glue, so it's good at doing fabric to paper, deciding which way I want it to go. And then I just put glue on the inside of this, so I try not to go too far on the outside. Get a lot of glue on there so it doesn't come off. And because this has a lot of threads coming off, you want to make sure that it's glued on all places so threads can't continue to come off. And then you can see that through some fabric you can still see the glue, so you can like spread the glue out. But because this is going to be hidden mostly by signatures, it doesn't matter as much. This is a crucial step if you want to have any ties. This is the point to do it. So I'm just going to grab some from my ribbon box, which it's crazy. That's my ribbon box. This one's nice though. I think I'll do that one. I'll see if it matches the front. Yeah, that looks alright. Like, even though it's like this is a little bit cooler, it still has some warm tones in it. So I think I will use this ribbon. So then I think about how much I would need and how much would make a good tie. So I think if I fold this in half and then See, this is my fabric scissors. So if I have that amount, then that should be enough to secure it and then still have a place to tie. So now I'm going to put these aside and I'm going to glue the ribbons down in. I'm just making sure that the satiny part is towards the outside. And I'm going to put it towards the center. It doesn't have to be perfectly, like you don't have to get out your ruler or tape measure. Put it in a place where it looks like it's centered. And then just make sure that the back side matches up. And then before the glue is completely dried, I just close it and make sure they line up. And they do. And now I can finally put the inside and outside cover on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue, but I'm going to use a different glue than this. This is still totally good glue to use, but I've just found that I like to use this glue. It's a lot cheaper, easier to find. This is upside down, sorry. This is Aleene's Tacky Glue. And you can find it like at the Dollar Tree. You can find it on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. What I do, the reason I have 2 bottles at all is I keep 1 tip thick and 1 tip thin. So you can see there that there is, like, you'll get a lot more glue out of this one, and then this one will be for more fine applications. So I'm going to use the one that has the bigger tip now. So you can do it on the cardboard, or you can, or like on this part, but I like to do it on this part because I don't know exactly where it's going to line up. So now for this part, sometimes I leave a little bit on the inside edge and I don't go with the glue all the way to the edge. I go like here so that there's a little bit of space for the fabric to move in and out. So now I am going to spread this out because this glue is a little bit thicker. I'm just going to make sure I get it to the edge. Let me pick this up. And if you just put it down like this, the glue would naturally spread out on its own. But this just makes sure that it doesn't leave any kind of marks or like bubbles in the page as much. And then you can just control where it spreads to. Because it still will probably have some seepage out of the edges, and that's okay. You can always just wipe that up. But this will kind of help control that a little bit more. And then because we're going to be attaching it right to here, it's okay to get some glue off the edges like this to make sure that the glue gets all the way to the edges so there's nothing that can peel up. And then the ribbon that's there will get sandwiched in between, so it'll be even more secure. And now when you're putting this down, you want to make sure to close the book a little bit so that you're not going over that section. So you just want to make sure everyone stays in their own lane. Alright, and then same for the back one. Now this one, like I said, it has the pocket on it from before. So while we're gluing down here, I just put a little glue. Oh. I put a little glue here just to secure that a little more. Or you could just cut that part off so it doesn't like flap around. Alright, so same thing. I'm just going to put the glue here. You do want to make sure that these little fabric flaps stay flat. So do what you got to do to make sure they stay flat. Same thing, attach it on. Make sure when you lift this, you're still within your limits. I was trying to film the other one, but it was really hard with my fingers covered with glue. But I did finish the one with the stitches. So like this is what the cover would look like. That's what the outside of the book would look like. And then here's the inside. And I will probably on some collection, probably my next collection that I do, I will probably show myself making the outsides of the covers too, but I already had a bunch of these already made, so I'll show that another time. But this is how I did the inside. There's the one with the stitching, and here's the one with the pocket. I also singed the edges of the ribbon to keep it from unraveling. You can also just put some glue there. That'll keep it from unraveling too. So you have a little pocket there to keep your little goodies in, and then the tie to keep it closed, because sometimes, because I try not to overstuff the journals, but sometimes you can put a lot of things in and it can start to kind of get bigger and bigger like this, so it's nice to have a tie to tie it up with. Another thing that I like to do, which I didn't do with these, is sometimes I like to put like one of these kind of cards, like in your cardstocks you often have ones that are like cut aparts, so sometimes I'll put like Find the Magic. I'll cut that out and put that like right in the center here, kind of like a nameplate similar to This Book Belongs To. Sometimes I might even have a page that says exactly that, This Book Belongs To, and I'll put it right there. But because they have them just like this, it usually matches, because usually it's from the same cardstock pack. So like you can see there's the gold leafing that matches. So you can just cut out that snake and just put it right in the center there, and it's kind of a nice inside cover to do. But it's pretty simple to decorate the inside covers. You just cut things to the right shape and size, and then glue it down or sew it down. And then don't forget the ribbons on the side if you want to tie it. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!